Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to TSP TV and thank you for tuning into today's episode. Texas Thunder. So what is Texas Thunder all about? We will be getting into momentarily, but cast your minds back a couple of days at the time of recording to Tuesday of this week, the 9th of September 2020, and I uploaded a video entitled #OnStorm Toronto Thunder, in which we experienced on the early hours of Monday the 7th of September 2020 a peculiar, very strange, unnatural thunderstorm which scared the living shit out of me. And then the day after, there's a few posts that I saw from localized friends here and around Toronto, and someone called a lightning strike that hit the CN Tower. And the CN Tower, as I did mention in that video, does get struck quite a lot of times each year. It is in fact a lightning conductor and will direct lightning, when there are storms, it will direct and safely redisperse lightning. But anyway, it's a very, very peculiar storm in many ways, and we also found some peculiar photographs circulating on social media about this particular storm that took place over southern Ontario in the early hours of Monday morning, and at one point now up to 20 lightning strikes a second. Yeah, that's right, 20 lightning strikes a second. As I said, very unnatural occurrence, but as I said, I won't go too much into that video. You can go back and watch it if you haven't already. But today, Friday, September the 11th, and that's an infamous date for all of us, I'm pretty sure, I come across another very interesting video on that somebody had shared to the Thrift Flam Clubhouse, and it was of a lightning strike that was caught over Texas, which we will quickly look at now. Okay, so that was pretty interesting, and that was in real time. It's very, very interesting that the fact that it was 13 seconds long. Those of you who are into numerology and stuff, 13 is a synonymous number nonetheless. But what this kind of, when I saw this, as I said, it's like just doesn't seem like any lightning strike I've ever seen. Almost seemed like some kind of special effect light show in the sky. Now I have actually re-recorded it, slowed it down, and then slowed it down still, which we will look at a little bit later, and actually put it to some music. It actually worked very, very well when I was putting that together. But it doesn't look natural at all to me, is what I'm saying. Part of why I'm making this video is to see if you guys watching actually agree that it looks natural. If maybe you have, oh no, that's perfectly normal, that happens all the time, and this is the phenomenon known as. Now, purple lightning is supposedly some kind of conductor of electricity. I'm not exactly certain. Maybe I should have researched a little bit more to give us some stuff. But this purple lightning is something that is very, very, very kind of common. It seems to be spreading around the world. There are quite a lot of these spectacular photographs that have been seen on social media from places like London, New York, Chicago, and even here in Toronto. And this lightning strike that we just saw in Chicago there, that we will be looking at a little bit more in slow motion very, very shortly. But is this all connected? Is this part of some kind of weather modification? Is this in fact, some natural occurrence that maybe I've not come across or seen or witnessed in my life? And I've seen a lot of storms. I do enjoy a thunderstorm, and in particular that's why it was bizarre and peculiar how I felt so so afraid, and sort of the anxiety and fear that was attracted to this. Very sort of similar to when I was a child and you didn't know about thunder, and it was so very, very terrifying and scary. But is this connected to something else? As I said, weather modification, weather manipulation, weaponized weather? Is it some kind of interdimensional portals being open? And the reason I mention that is because when I watched that 13-second clip, it reminded me very, very, very much of a scene from Ghostbusters.
I want this man arrested! Captain, these men are a criminal violation of the Environmental Protection Act! And this explosion is a direct result of it! Your mother! You
recently. I did watch the reboot, but I paid absolutely no attention. I have no memory of it. But the 1984 original Ghostbusters is the only Ghostbusters as far as I'm concerned. But if you can remember in that scene, there was the city of New York shut down the Ghostbusters, so they were carrying out some kind of illegal activities, and they cut the power to the Ghostbusters headquarters, in which they had a containment unit that they kept all the spirits in ghosts that they had caught and busted. That's where they stored them, and once they shut the power down, the spirits and the demons and the spooks escaped and started running amok around lower Manhattan. But there was a scene in particular when it first happened where all these purple kind of lights and sparks lit up the sky and the spirits started to float around. That kind of reminded me very, very, very much of what we just saw. And another scene in a movie that it reminded me of greatly, also not greatly but a little bit, shall I say, was Raiders of the Lost Ark, in the scene when they opened the Ark of the Covenant on that secret island towards the end of the movie, in which all the spirits and demons come out and killed the Nazi troops and scientists that were there, as well as Belloc, the French archaeologist that was commissioned by the Nazi Party to find the Ark of the Covenant. Or he didn't actually find it, Indiana Jones found it. He just stole it, and through a series of adventures, Indiana Jones traced them down to the island and witnessed the opening of it. But he and his co-partner, played by Karen Allen, they closed their eyes and then weren't subjected to the horrors that were contained within the Ark of the Covenant. But again, the Ark of the Covenant opened a portal to some other realm, in a dimensional heaven, hell, whatever you say. So are these purple light storms and these very, very bizarre thunder experiences that we are seeing, are these part of interdimensional openings to portals to other realms, and then many otherly worlds, perhaps? And that's something we will get into possibly after we've looked at the lightning show in slow. snippet of the lightning that we slowed down to 8 times slower at the end of that little montage, and accompanied it with the music. It's almost like a light show accompanied to music, but it was allegedly and supposedly a natural phenomenon, a lightning strike. But at its slowest point, when we got it down to 8 times slower, it took nearly 2 minutes for the entire lightning strike to play out. So if you did notice or not in that when it was at its slowest point, it did seem to be like there's some kind of little sort of projections coming out of like the little explosions of sparks and stuff. Spectacular nonetheless, if or not it was of any a man-made device, or if it was indeed natural occurrence. Either way, it was extremely spectacular. But if it was man-made, and what I'm going with this, and what's a little bit of concerning and alarming, is that over the course of this summer 2020, I have been putting together a little playlist on Project Bluebeam, and is the COVID cover-up, or is a COVID scam pandemic little more than a cover-up for these elite cabal types that are put into all these plans and false flag psychological operations together in order to obtain a total control? Are they using this as a smokescreen in order to, carry out the final preparation, so to speak, in order to carry out the final run of Project Bluebeam? And as I said, I have a whole playlist and about 8 hours of footage so far, and probably will be doing an update and a continuation of that, and maybe we might be including some of these thunderstorms, because could these be part of Project Bluebeam? I don't say they are. I'm just opening up for suggestion, thoughts, and opinions from you guys. But as I said, guys, it was a very interesting looking lightning strike, and it is sort of a continuing trend of these sort of unnatural, almost supernatural lightning strikes and lightning thunderstorms that seem to be occurring in and around the globe. So we're not going to go on and keep you too tied up with this. Thoughts, opinions, comments below. As always, we do like to get a little bit of dialogue and like to see what you guys thought of this video. But until the next one, guys, this is a ship video production. This is TSP TV. We will see you hopefully in a future episode. Until then, keep it thrifty, and remember, guys, be excellent to each other. Take care.